Trapped under the ice for 6 hours, the miracle rescue. On a freezing winter afternoon in Norway. What started as a playful day of ice skating turned into a nightmare that no one could have imagined. A young boy slipped beneath the frozen surface of a lake and stayed there for more than 6 hours. Doctors would later call it impossible. The family would call it a miracle. This is the true story of one of the most extraordinary rescues in modern history, a story of faith, courage, and the fight against nature itself. The frozen lake. It was the middle of January. The air temperature was well below zero. The lake shimmered under the pale winter sun, its surface covered with thick ice. 11-year-old Lucas was full of energy that day. Together with his friends, he laced up his skates and glided across the frozen surface, laughing as his breath turned into white clouds. The children felt invincible, the way only kids can. But nature has its own rules. Beneath the ice flowed dark, freezing water. And near the center of the lake, the ice was far thinner than anyone realized. As Lucas skated further, his friends heard a sharp crack. Before anyone could react, the ice gave way. Lucas disappeared beneath the surface. Panic and desperation. His friends screamed. They rushed to the hole, but the water was pitch black, and Lucas had already vanished under the ice. The current pulled him further away from the opening. Every second counted, but the freezing water numbed his body instantly. Neighbors rushed from nearby houses. Someone dialed emergency services. Soon firefighters and rescue divers arrived. But by the time they pulled Lucas out, more than 20 minutes had passed. For a child trapped in icy water, survival time is usually no more than 10 minutes. Lucas had been under twice as long. His heart had stopped beating. His body was lifeless. The hopeless battle. At the local hospital, doctors worked frantically. They performed CPR. They warmed his body with heated blankets. They connected him to machines. But nothing worked. His heart would not start. An hour passed. Then 2. Then 3. Every medical textbook said it was over. Lucas was gone. Yet his mother, standing by his bed, refused to believe it. She prayed. She begged. She whispered into his ear, "Lucas, don't leave me. God, please, give me back my son." The miracle moment. More than 6 hours had passed since Lucas first fell under the ice. The doctors were preparing to declare him dead. But then, something unbelievable happened. A faint electrical rhythm appeared on the heart monitor. Weak, irregular. But it was there. Doctors and nurses gasped. His heart had started beating again. The room filled with a stunned silence, followed by a rush of activity as the team worked to stabilize him. Lucas was alive. The recovery. Even though his heart was beating, no one knew if his brain had survived. 6 hours without oxygen should have left him with severe brain damage or none at all. But day by day, Lucas began to open his eyes. He started to move his fingers, then his arms. Then he whispered his first words. Against all odds, Lucas returned not only alive, but with his memory, his personality, and his smile intact. Doctors called it the most miraculous survival story they had ever witnessed. The science behind the miracle. How could this happen? Scientists believe that the freezing water actually saved Lucas. When the body becomes extremely cold, it goes into a state called hypothermic protection. The metabolism slows down so much that the brain and organs can survive without oxygen far longer than normal. It was as if the ice that trapped him had also preserved him. A mother's faith. For Lucas's mother, science was only half the answer. She believed her son's survival was a direct answer to prayer. Doctors gave up, she said. But God didn't. Her unwavering faith combined with the skill of the medical team, had turned a hopeless tragedy into a story of life. The return to the lake. Months later, Lucas returned to the same lake, not to skate, but to stand by the water's edge, holding his mother's hand. He stared at the frozen surface. For a long time, he said nothing. Then he whispered, "I'm not afraid anymore." His survival became a symbol of hope, proof that even in the darkest, coldest moments, miracles can break through the ice. The miracle rescue. Lucas's story reminds us that the line between life and death is thinner than we think. It reminds us that courage, faith, and determination can achieve the impossible. Trapped under the ice for 6 hours, he should not have survived. But against all odds, he did. And that is why this story will forever be known as the Miracle Rescue. If you were touched by this story, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more real-life miracle stories.